So here we are, Flora, we're in your studio in Bermondsey. Amazing light, amazing space. How did it begin, your relationship with the Wallace Collection?
Well, I began looking at 18th century decorative arts and beginning to think about the notion of sort of the feminine in painting. And so I visited the Wallace Collection while I was on my MA in 2017, and then I've been coming back very frequently ever since.
And then, so when we asked you to fill 2 spaces, we've amazingly have taken down 2 Bouchers so that you can take over. The Bouchers will be downstairs unframed, and your paintings are going to be within that Boucher space, which is the landing at the Wallace, in frames. How did you react when we asked you?
I've been incredibly excited because those particular works on the landing are some that have kind of fed my work for a really long time, and I've been borrowing bits. I don't think there's a painting I've made since 2017 that hasn't in some way been informed by those works. Also a tiny bit daunted because it's a challenge. I've never seen my work in that kind of continuous decorative scheme.
So the 2 pictures that we're taking down are probably Boucher's masterpieces of the pastoral theme, the idea of depicting shepherds, shepherdesses in nature, flirting, they're eating grapes, they're playing music. Is it something that you could update for your works?
I think this felt like such a nice moment to really delve into the pastoral as sort of a genre. I've noticed with a lot of content that I'm coming across online, ideas of sort of returning to a simpler, natural way of being. We want progress and we want technology, but we also, I think, always want that sort of fantasy of being part of nature.
We've called the exhibition The Language of the Rococo. That means a lot to you personally, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I think I landed on the Rococo because all of my work sort of revolves around the question of what is serious and what's frivolous, and what creates the distinction between the two. And I think the Rococo feels like just a period in art history that explores that exact question, and sort of the idea of things teetering on the edge of real life and fairy tale in a way, which I find just a very exciting place to think about.
You come up with some pretty wacky, clever, witty titles that have quite a Rococo feel to them, actually. But are titles important to your work?
Yeah, very important, because I'm trying to include these contemporary sources alongside the historical and sort of show a connection between the two. By including a title, I can include an entire film or a whole song and maybe kind of suggest how people should maybe read the paintings. So the one on the right is going to be called Folie Bergère, and the one on the left is A World of Pure Imagination. It's taken from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
And then Folie Bergère on the right here, that's inspired by the famous cabaret place in Paris.
Yeah, and the sort of direct translation of the title.
So how do you feel about sharing a space with such a great artist?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it as an act of homage rather than an act of sharing. He was borrowing so much from other artists, and this idea of incorporating inspiration that came before him is so important in his work, and I love that idea of continuing the lineage in some way and sort of seeing what my work feels like in that space temporarily.